So this is going to be a controversial video and some of you will not like it. And that's okay because it took me a long time to learn the lesson that I'm going to share with you. So I'm somebody who has always been kind of a nice guy, and I was the timid kid, growing up, and I often used to feel conflicted about whether I'm being too brutal, and also sometimes was I being too nice and letting people get away with what I wouldn't want them to get away with, right? And if you're somebody who struggled with this nice guy syndrome, then you probably know what I'm talking about, right? There's always a struggle about, oh, is it polite? Is it nice to do this? Am I going too far? Should I have gone further, right? And so the goal of this video is not to make you a terrible person, but it's to give you a framework for how to think about what it means to be ruthless as a CEO. Because I do believe strongly that as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, founder, whatever you call yourself, you have to be ruthless to succeed. Now, the first thing I want to address is, what does it mean to be ruthless, right? And I have a very specific definition. It does not mean you're a sadist or you're arrogant or, just aggressive towards people for no reason. It means you do whatever it takes without caring what people think. Okay? You do whatever it takes without caring what people say or what people think, right? That's what being ruthless means. Let me take an example. If you were in an accident and someone close to you was dying in your arms, would you scream for help? Would you say, call the fucking ambulance, please, right now? Would you do that? If you were carrying them, would you run past the red light and say, stop, this is an emergency, I need to get this person to the hospital? Doing whatever it takes without caring what people think. Now, of course, when people usually talk about being ruthless, it's often misconstrued, right? There's a lot of what I call leadership porn out there on the internet nowadays, right? Motivation, like how to be a good leader, how to be a fuzzy, nice person that everybody loves, and you go to work expecting to be fondled by your CEO, basically, right? Fondled by, like, employees should go to work expecting to be fondled by the leadership. Like, oh yeah, of course, it's a playground, bring your whole self to work and be nice and lovely and all that. Okay, that's good. Everything is good, right? I do generally believe that you should have a positive work environment, right? But here's the thing, and this is where a lot of nice people go astray, right? In the effort to be too nice and benevolent and flexible and accommodating, they forget the critical rule of business, which is that as a CEO, your number one job is to put numbers on the table. All right? Your job is to win, and your team expects you to win. And here's the harsh reality. You could be the nicest CEO in the world, right? You're the most accommodating, most lovely person. If you're not delivering the numbers that the company needs to survive and thrive, the people you are being nice to are going to leave and cut themselves off, and they're going to remember you as an incompetent person. But if you're a winner, people will stick with you to the end because they're like, he might be a jerk, but at least he's a winner and we're winning, and this is amazing. And here are all the good qualities, If you're winning, people will look for the good in you. Oh my God, yeah, he taught me so many lessons, is how they'll put it. You taught them so much. You inspired them. That's just how it is. If you're a nice guy and you're a loser, you could be the nicest loser in the whole world. And what people will say is, oh yeah, he was a weird guy. The company really wasn't going anywhere, and he was making all these weird decisions. He was a nice guy, but I'm much more happy to have left that company and I'm working somewhere else. Think about how many marriages end in divorce because of money reasons. 80% of divorces that happen because of money, the financial situation and financial disagreements, right? So if money could cause people to quit their spouse, what does that say about people's loyalty to you being a nice guy? Take the example of this guy who started WeWork, right? Adam Neumann, I believe. And this guy was, there's been documentaries and movies made about him, about how he uses drugs and he would party and he was running a cult and whatever, right? All of this documentary making and all of this stuff happened after the IPO failed. Once you fail, all the weird stuff about you comes back to bite you, and people use that to burn you at the stake. Like, oh my God, yeah, he was a party guy and he was doing drugs and running a cult. If that IPO had succeeded, you would be having celebratory books written about him. Like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. He's changing the way you do business. Everybody should learn from him, right? The only thing that's changed is the result. And instead of tearing this person down, now they're worshiping the same guy, right? That's what happens in every industry. When you are winning, everybody wants to join the party, right? Nobody cares if you're doing cocaine in the bathroom. Nobody cares if you're being a dick sometimes. There is all this leadership porn, but on the other hand, have you noticed that a lot of toxic companies, supposedly toxic companies with really low Glassdoor reviews, tend to still succeed and thrive, and people keep applying to work there? Now, of course, it doesn't mean you have to be a toxic company to succeed, but why are they still alive? Why are they still in business? And it's for the same reason. They deliver results, right? They make money, and they don't care what you think or what I think about them. The only thing that people don't like is when they feel like they're being treated unfairly, right? That's the only boundary you shouldn't cross. If somebody in the team feels like, oh my God, why did I get scolded for this when I didn't deserve to? Or why did this person get all the credit? Why does that person get paid more than I do for doing the same job or for doing a worse job, right? Why did this person get promoted and I didn't? These are the kind of things that people really care about, and they will not forgive you for, even if the company is making a lot of money. Everything else is forgiven, right? So as long as you don't cross that line, you don't break that trust, that integrity, that you have people's interests at heart, right? You can get away with anything in business. People will let you get away with stuff. Now, what can you take away from this today? And how can you apply this practically, right? What are you doing? Ask yourself, what are you doing? What are you putting up with? Which employee have you not fired yet? Or which partner, which supplier, which customer you're dealing with? Which family member, which friend you're dealing with who isn't helping you win? And if you were a more ruthless version of yourself, how would you change or eliminate your relationship with that person? That's the question I want you to take away from this video. What I'm saying might sound harsh, but I hope that it gives you some clarity. As long as you're doing whatever it takes to win, please don't feel guilty about your decision making, right? It doesn't matter what people think right now. They're going to celebrate you later for helping them win, and everything will be forgiven. But if you're doing things just to be accommodating, even if you know that they're not helping you win, stop doing them right now. You will thank yourself for it, and other people will also thank you for it. Okay? Take care.